Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Fox 10 Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Podfather, along with my oldest son, Kellen, middle son, Garrett, and the Clay Bench McDonald, the Dens enforcer. And we want to talk tonight about how OU walked into Neyland Stadium and walked out 7-2. Fantastic game. OU 13 points off of 3 turnovers from the Tennessee Volunteers. We're talking about the big R. Mason Thomas 71 scoop and score, all that good stuff that's coming up. We got a lot to cover. So, first question would be, first off, how did we win this game? How did we win it? Tennessee had more yards, more first downs. How did we win this game?
Tate Sandell is how we won this game. I think it's pretty obvious whenever you walk into that stadium and you hit the longest field goal in stadium history twice. I think that goes a long way. But all in all, I think, I keep telling everyone it was the weirdest football game I've ever seen, because if you look at pretty much anything, we should have gotten smoked. I mean, smoked, but like you said, walked out with the win, and that's all that matters.
I'm going to say 2 things: a defensive touchdown and 3 turnovers compared to 2. And it's just weird. I think Garrett made the comment the other night, it's like that we got 3 turnovers in the first half and they won the first half. They got 2 turnovers in the second half and we won the second half. So it's very weird. Add to the weirdness of it, but those 2 things, I want to say the stats were bad in their favor, but just passing, running, we crushed them on running or rush yards. So in that regard, you could say that that didn't really matter. But when you take a defensive touchdown score after they march almost all the way down the field, then they get the ball right back. So that takes away a chance for us to gain yards. And then you intercept it twice and run it back pretty far. And then, I think we had the ball after one of the interceptions, only 16 seconds. So that's pretty much not much of a possession. That's how the stats, to me, were a little bit convoluted. Because
and too, at the end, they had 2 easy drives that we just gave him 60 yards apiece, it felt like.
Yeah.
Sure. Dog, what are your thoughts?
I mean, obviously we won the turnover battle. We capitalized on those, and we did not miss a field goal. I know, obviously we won by more, but I think that just kind of helped shift the momentum. Every time they were gaining momentum in that first half, they would make a mistake that would shift it back towards us, and it kept us in the game until we were able to get rolling on offense. So I think those are clearly the 2 biggest things for me.
So this game, I got kind of a 2-part question. Was this OU's most Venables identity type game win? And also, is this his biggest win as a Sooner coach so far?
Repeat that first part of the question.
Or the identity, because the thing is, it was a defensive, his havoc on the defensive line causing havoc.
I mean, I would say no, just for the fact that we only had, 5 sacks, which is still good, don't get me wrong. And I get the 3 turnovers, but from my understanding, from the looks of it, the 2 interceptions really had nothing to do with anything we did.
He was just throwing that ball up.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say, like I texted, I wasn't even excited when it happened because I was so confused on what was going on. And also I was scared we were going to have a penalty that took it back. I mean, I would say no, just for the fact that I think the defense could have been definitely more dominant, and because in reality, they really did get walked over in the passing game. And then offensively, I would hope your identity isn't only playing one half of football. But second half of that question, it was the biggest win. I think it is by far. I mean, only comparable one would have to be Bama last year, but that game didn't mean anything to us. I mean, all it did really was put us into a lock for a bowl game. But this game kept our hopes alive for the playoffs, which is a bigger goal, obviously. So I think this was a much bigger game than that, and the biggest game and win of his career, because they brought up that stat at the end of the first quarter that I think it was Heupel had a 18, or now it had been more than that, but a very good record when leading at the end of the first, and Venables was 1-8 whenever he was losing at the end of the first. So that's a huge win for him.
I answer the question about the defense. When you give up 393 yards against a defensive coach, I'm not real impressed with that. However, I think we did a pretty good job second, third, and fourth quarters defensively. So in that regard, yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't call this a statement game for his defense. And what was the second part?
Biggest win of his
biggest win. Yeah, up to this point, I'm going to say yes. But, if we lose the next three, that game didn't matter. If we lose two of the next three, that game didn't really matter. So, because you can compare it to the Alabama game last year. It's just a good win on national TV. To me, up to this point, besides this game, maybe as the Texas game 2 years ago to put us up 7-0 or 7-0 on the season. Of course, then we tanked the next 2 weeks after that. Just couldn't really handle success very well that year. So he hasn't been able to show that his teams can handle good success. And so it's hard to answer that because we got 3 more games left.
Okay. What you, dog? Anything?
I mean, I don't have too much to add. Probably is the biggest win just because, like they said, it means something and it matters for longevity of the season. It's the first real win, first good team we've beat this year, in my opinion. I think it was a good, the defense, there were times they were getting ran over, but there were times they made the stands. Like that second half, they were making the stand when they need to. At the very end, I felt like we were just trying to stop the big play and letting them march down the field. I feel like that was just a weird tactic we took, because we were giving them space, but we just didn't want to give them a quick touchdown. We were kind of controlling the clock in that aspect. But outside of that, I feel like every time we needed a big stop, they came through to really keep us in that game. So, what was it? Was it after the pick? After we threw the pick, I think did we make them settle for the field goal, or was that just?
Well, they chose the field goal, not necessarily settle.
I don't know. So I feel like they did what was needed, but I wouldn't say it's like a statement game for his defense, but it worked out.
Well, did this win quiet the critics with Venables?
For this week?
For this week, yeah. Garrett, why do you say no?
Because, like Clay mentioned just a minute ago, this game doesn't mean anything unless you win the next 3. So I don't think...
It still means something because you got a winning record. So, yeah, it means something. But go ahead.
Well, either if we lose the next 3, we still have a winning record. But I don't think this is any sort of win that we can necessarily say was a turning point. Because like you also said, or maybe it was Clay, but we've won big games like this before, and then we just plummet. And we've done it again. We've done it this year already. We've just been able to somehow get it back on track this past week. But no, I think it doesn't anything. And to me, it almost raises more questions when you have 11 penalties, and it's absolutely pathetic that anytime you do anything, it's getting called back because your team doesn't know how to play football. It's pathetic. It's the worst coach team I've seen in Oklahoma history, and probably in the country right now, I would say, because it's just, you're not going to win any important games long term whenever you're acting like that, whenever you're coaching like that. And he's really prideful. Yeah, he's really prideful of just following, what do you call it? Just, I don't know, well-coached teams in the sense, but he's bad at it. He's very bad at it.
I was just going to say pre-snap penalties are absolutely ridiculous. We can't continue to have those. We can't have any of them. I know you're going to have a few, but 11 for over 100 yards is ridiculous. And I know what was they had. What am I looking at here? Hold on a second. Yeah, they had 3 penalties for 25 yards. But again, so you're saying right now that what? It's not going to quiet the critics.
It shouldn't
at all.
No, not at all.
I think that win kept him from getting fired. Even if we go 7-5.
Yeah.
No, if we go 7-5, I'd get rid of him. We can't lose we can't lose to Mizzou and LSU.
As much as I hate, LSU, they have a good point that Brian Kelly's record in the SEC is basically double the success rate of Brent Venables, and they got rid of him pretty quick. And so I think that shows the difference of expectations.
I hope we keep him. I hope we keep him just because there's so many teams out there that players are going to be bailing. I mean, there is so many people to grab, here in January.
Which is fair, but
So
our roster also right now should compete for a national championship. So
let me ask you this: what trajectory do you see Oklahoma or LSU moving up? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think Oklahoma has a higher right now trajectory than LSU does with Brian Kelly when he was the coach. That's my thoughts, though.
I mean, I think they're.
You think they're same, kind of close?
Well, I think they're close, but I think their trajectory went up when they got rid of Brian Kelly. I'm more scared of them now than I was with Brian Kelly.
Just that they hire Lane Kiffin.
Well, yeah, and if I'm Lane Kiffin, I go to that job. I don't go to Florida, but I do go to LSU. Well, my point is here's my thoughts, because I got a lot of people on the TikTok video that I put out there last week that agreed with me, and a lot that didn't agree with me, and everybody was flipping out about records and stuff. And I was like, look, I said this in the comments. Let's wait till end of the season. He ain't gone 6-6 yet. Don't just wait. If we can pull off, an 8-4 season, even though that's still not, but I said this, it's not what OU fans like. But the thing is, this is in the Big 12, Sisters of the Poor that we were beating up on, the Rum Dums and all that. This is a different beast that we're playing in. And the problem is, I want to see how good we do at some point with our offensive line. I think there may need to be at some point some coaching changes, not necessarily the head guy, because I'm looking forward to some of these defensive players he's bringing in as well. But we'll see. I just don't know. I don't think that I think the criticism should pull back a little bit. I can understand maybe some of it on the play calling from Arbuckle this past game for sure. But then again, I mean, Mateer had. That's why I go into my next question. Like, grade his night. What were you? I mean, obviously, do me a favor. Grade the first half, the second half, and then an overall. Because first half was rash.
Yeah, I'd give him maybe a C, if that. I mean,
overall,
overall. I mean,
okay.
Even the second half. I mean, you guys might disagree, but it was nothing spectacular at all. I mean, he had a couple of good passes, and he seemed a little bit more decisive whenever he needed to pull it down to run it. But also, how stupid do you have to be to throw the ball in that situation with 4 minutes left? That makes no sense to me. So, I'd give him a C, and I think that's being friendly.
Clay, yeah.
I'll probably give him C+, just because he made some good decisions, but there's just something not going right now. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, everybody thought it was his thumb. Everybody says it's confidence. Everybody says it's play calling. I mean, something's not right. So I don't know. It's probably all the above. I don't know whether it's confidence or not, just something he's not seeing, because I mean, I think I texted y'all. I was like, man, he's playing like Jackson Arnold in that first half. So it's unbelievable. But the runs he made, I think he finally just stuck his nose into it instead of just dancing around. And so I'll give him a lot of credit for the way he ran the ball in that second half on Saturday.
I'd give him a B-. I don't think he's anywhere near Jackson Arnold. I think he's 10 times the quarterback Arnold will ever be and ever was. But I think first half, he was looking rough, but I feel like second half he came out and for better or for worse looked confident and he did what he needed to do. The pass, the pick, he should have never been in the position to have a RPO called. It should have just been run. In his mind, he's just trying to play a quick hero ball. He should have never had that opportunity. So that's 30% on him, 70% on Arbuckle. But I think he played a good second half. He had that, it was like 3rd and 17 that he ran for 21 yards. Like that looked like Baker Mayfield out there. Like he just looked, it looked like something clicked in his head and he stopped worrying so much. And that's what happens when he's not scared. He's going to throw picks because he's just going to be throwing the ball. That's what we saw for those first 5 or 6 games. He threw interceptions in every game up to Kent State, and it's because he was just throwing it. So I think we caught some glimpses of pre-injury Mateer, and I think he's going to just keep improving from here on out.
Apparently, he had some kind of a knee injury that he was fighting through. That supposedly was one of his first games he's back healthy.
I also thought it was interesting. They showed it right before the game, but he was coming into the stadium and high-fiving people, and he high-fived an OU fan. For whatever reason, this idiot grabbed his hand, and he, like, winced at it, like, because it hurt. And so he's obviously feeling
pain.
Now, I don't feeling pain now. I don't know if there's, like, pressure on it in the sense of, like, squeezing it rather than, like, holding a football. I think there could be a difference there, but
different things.
yeah, but there's still it's still a factor
Tender.
in the sense, yeah. So, but I think he's right. I think he said it at the Texas game. I bet you during the game he doesn't even feel it, honestly. So
I know on
He's
that
getting
run he
drilled all the
made,
time. Like he's feeling pain. Like he's
More
got to
than
block out
his
that pain
hand.
the whole game already.
yeah, exactly.
on that long run he made on third down, what was it, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 17? Chris Fowler was already
18.
talking about us punting. And then he hauled off and made that run. So I give him a B- just from the stats. He made the plays when he needed to make the plays, what he needed to do to help this team win. That kind of the way he was acting in that game is what we need the rest of the season. Second half version, I guess, as I should say. We've got to have that. We've got to have that kind of mentality. What were we going to say?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember? What about this running back room? The change. You got Xavier Robinson playing. I think Blaylock only carried the ball one time for 0 yards. He was like the man everybody was talking about so much, and then all of a sudden Robinson's coming on. What about that switch? Do you think that's any has anything to do with?
I honestly, from the side view, I can't tell which one. They look the exact same to me out there on the field if you can't see their numbers. So and then I think they run very similar. I'm just glad they settled on 2. Javante Barnes looks like he's been injured and not really probably going to play much more. And then Jaden Knott, they're not trying to work him in anymore, thank goodness. And so I'm just glad they settled on the 2, and let's just go. Those are by far the 2 best backs.
It's just the same thing every single year, though. Like, you go the whole year with one guy that everyone's pretty certain that's it, and then one guy comes in, has a really good game, and then he's the guy for a couple weeks, and then something will probably happen. So we'll go back to Blaylock, and then everyone's gonna be confused. Like, I hate a 2 running back system. I hate it. In college football, you should be able to say this is our guy that's going to get 75% of the carries all year, and anyone else is just for depth and rest. But I'm not impressed with either one necessarily. I mean, Robinson had a couple of good runs, the dumb fumble, but no, I've not been impressed with the running back at Oklahoma in about 4 years. So.
But do you think the switch over with him has anything to do with us all of a sudden being able to run the ball? Seems like a little bit more successfully.
I think his style of running is just more successful. He's a bigger body and harder to bring down than Blaylock, especially in the SEC. I think your home run, which he had a big run, obviously, at the end of the game, but I think he's much lower chance of a home run, but much more of a chance of a 3 to 4 yarder because he's harder to bring down. And he usually makes a pretty good first read. It's just, can he break that second tackle?
I think your line's settling in a little bit. I think that helps too. I think that Foji guy they're putting out there at right tackle that was a right guard up until 2 weeks ago, he's been playing pretty decent. And so
True
I think
freshman.
Yeah, so we've got 2 true freshmen out there, a true sophomore out there, and I feel like we played like basically for sure 2 games with the same line, and that's been very unusual for us in the last 2 years. And so I think that might have something to do with it more than anything.
Well, I know at halftime they had an 8-minute 20-second advantage on time of possession, and they had 255 yards at half, and they only had 138 yards in the second half, and some of those were just at that very end of the game. So obviously I think that's what a running game can help with, because OU finished the game almost, I think it was nearly 20 seconds more in time of possession than Tennessee. So we got to have a running game in order to keep the other team's offense off the field, give our rest on our defense.
But real quick to that one thing that's annoying me is that our defense in the first half, other than the turnovers, had so many opportunities to get themselves off the field. I mean, at least 4 or 5 third and 8+, and they just get it with ease. Like there should be a 0% chance that they should pick that up whenever we're supposed to be a top 5 defense in the country. And again, second half was completely different. I agree, but first half was pathetic on that account.
Sure.
And if they didn't get it, guess what? We got a late hit on the quarterback or a holding or something. So,
how big was that fumble return by R. Mason Thomas? How big? If he doesn't make it, do you think we win?
No. Well, yeah,
I think it's close if he doesn't.
I think it's going to be one of those
agree.
plays that like the Roy Williams jumping over the running back at Texas. I think it's going to be one of those plays that's just going to go, oh, I remember watching that play. Because, I mean, not only was he's our best defensive player, it was a big moment. We know how big it was, just like the Roy Williams play. That was such a huge moment. We were already ahead 7-3, but we just knew we were going to win when Roy did that. This one, the best player, I mean, stiff started the dude for 23 yards. And then he goes, another 20 yards and pulls his hamstring, and then just kind of
finishes another 15 to 20. Yeah.
I thought he was doing the old fake hamstring injury when he was running. I was like, what are you doing, man? Quit showing off. Just get in the end zone. And I was like, oh, crap, I think he's really hurt. And but, yeah, I think it's one of the bigger defensive plays that I can remember ever.
Yeah, by far ultimately won us the game in my.
Sure.
I think if we don't get that, and granted he's not the one that forces the fumble, but I think if we don't get that whole possession there, I don't know if they have a single turnover because their quarterback looked so flustered after that with the pressure. Those picks, like Gary said, were not necessarily us. He was just throwing them up in a panic. I really think if that we didn't get him all scared right off the rip like that, I don't know if we would have ever had a turnover, and I think we would have got smoked by 2 to 3 possessions.
And they would have been up 14-0 right after that, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And well, I was going to say the interceptions, too. Like, those weren't even throws you see a bad quarterback make. Like, those are just and he's a good quarterback. I'll say that. Like, he came off the field saying, like, what happened after he oversailed a receiver by 15 yards. Yeah. And so he was just lost out there.
I think we really had him scared and just frazzled, and I think it all started with that. So, yeah, I don't know. That game would have been completely different if we didn't have that scoop and score.
And hit on the quarterback by, I call him Heineke. I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Owen Heineke.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I watched that several different times already this morning, a little while ago as well.
That's another MVP. Yeah. He was all over the place, especially without Kobe playing.
Okay, yeah.
He was named SEC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week.
I'll tell you who I thought, and I was telling Kellen during the second half, like I thought there's a period of time where Kip Lewis was incredible. Like there was a couple drives right there, right back to back that he was all over the quarterback, and I mean just making plays left and right. And it was, I mean, to the fact like you just said, McKenzie was out. R. Mason Thomas was out after that run. I mean, this defense showed up with 2 of their best players not even playing in this, and
Which it did help that those are our 2 deepest position groups. So I will say that does help. But
and Gentry Williams is out.
Yeah, Guillory again had at least one pass interference penalty, and I think if that's the one I'm thinking of, I didn't feel like it was worthy of one, but they're going to call it regardless.
No, he had 2.
He had 2. Both of them I didn't think they were worthy.
I know one he didn't get his head around for sure.
Yeah, but he full on tackled the guy. He deserved it there.
No.
That one, the first
2 of them he did not deserve. First one, tight end drills his head straight into his chest, 10 yards down the field, about throws him over. 100% just let the game play, or that's offensive PI. Second one, receiver sees the ball, knows he's not going to get there, runs backwards towards Guillory, forces the contact, ball sails 10 yards over his head, so then they pretend like he was going to get there. Neither one should have been PI. Those were both good plays. Like Guillory was in a great position until all of a sudden the guy turns around and runs towards him for 0 reason at all because he knows he's not getting the ball and all he's trying to do is draw that flag.
Yeah, I thought overall, he played a pretty good game. Because that receiver out there for Tennessee is pretty good, and he didn't have any long bombs catches, and which with that offense, that's the number one thing that they do with the Tennessee offense is throw bombs, and they didn't have any. So I thought, for a true freshman out there, I thought he played pretty decent.
He's got a tackle though. He looked pathetic
Wrap
out
up.
there trying to just trying to body him.
I said something to Kellen, like we weren't tackling very well, like I've seen us do in the earlier on in the season. We did not tackle very well in this game. And that one touchdown they had was, I think it was like a 54 yards catch where we should have had him. We should have had him tackled.
Like third and
Cortland
four,
Guillory and Peyton Bowen.
After he got 2 yards, and he just ran up and just bounced off of him.
Yeah. Just didn't feel like we did a good job of tackling. What I can't remember, Kellen, we just watched it a little while ago. What quarter that was when our punter dropped the football, but then he picked it right back up and kicked it. I mean, that was huge there that it didn't result in, giving them a great field position, because I think they did go down and kick a field goal on that possession anyway.
That was weird, man. That didn't it hit him right in the hands?
Right.
What's so funny is right before that too, I remember I was like, man, like how crazy would it be if it went over his head? And I saw him drop it. I was like, this is just as worse. Just as bad, and he got it off, but it was just weird. Like I had just a weird gut feeling that this guy was not made for the moment.
We only punted 3 times too, which if you look back on it, it's kind of surprising. But we punted 3 times. That's it. And they muffed one of them, and we came so close to almost getting that one. But that was crazy time of the game. Is there any concern with any of the explosive? I don't even really say explosive, but any of those passes like that they made against us from the
I think it was just the way our defense was called. I mean, I didn't necessarily think that Kip Lewis, like, why is he not just guarding the running back coming out or put somebody on him, because he just rushing 5, like just rush 4. They're going to have to get it out quick because they're worried about time. Just guard that running back, and they can't dump it off where we could run for another 15 or 20 yards, and you just boom, boom, boom. So that was really, I mean, they probably got 100 and plus yards just on those last 2 drives. And so other than that, I really thought overall we had, and we just talked about the one that we should have tackled him. And then it was a 2-yard pass play, and I ran it for 60 yards. And other than that, we did good against them.
That ending too, though, we did have somebody, especially on that second drive, but after about 3 dump offs, like a linebacker came up to watch that zone, but they were so worried about keeping him in bounds, that guy would make one move towards the middle and would beat him, and it was piece of cake.
How big was it whenever it was 4th down, Tennessee goes for it, 4th and 1, they throw it out to the flat, and it hits a guy right in the helmet, and they miss it? How big was that? Pretty huge.
I loved Heupel's reaction. I loved him replaying that one.
Yeah.
And Heupel's getting crushed on it. And I'm like, for one, Marvin Jones did a great job hitting the dude coming out of the backfield, and it threw the guy off. But Heupel's getting crushed because the dude has caught 2 passes all year long. He's a true freshman. But he was wide open. I mean, it was a first down. He wasn't going to score, but he was going to get, 3 or 4 yards out of it and get a first down. So it was a good play call. It just didn't work. So we got lucky.
Yeah, Herb Street said it on the channel, like whenever he's like, yeah, you only have 2 catches on the year, but those are the guys that you design those plays for, because we're not watching him. Why would we? Because he's never getting the ball. Like, you're probably using a fullback in a situation like that because they never get the use. So, yeah, I agree. It was 100% right call, good call. I mean, good play by Marvin, yes, but a lot of luck.
And then,
I mean, it was doink.
Yeah. Kellen, let's have you answer this question first. So that there's about 4 minutes left in the game. We had just driven. We probably knocked off at least 3 minutes off the clock. 1st and 10. They've got 2 timeouts left. We can run the ball 3 times, run that clock down. But we decide to pass. And then it's intercepted. What were your thoughts at that point? I know we talked about it briefly earlier, but I just want to talk about that for a minute.
I just felt like it was the dumbest play call in the world. I think Arbuckle tries to get too fancy and too unique sometimes. It brings me back to that the safety with Ole Miss. When you're on the 1-yard line, he's like, oh, nobody will ever expect me to call a run going side to side. And guess what? It didn't matter. all these little trick things he has when you're playing high-level SEC football, it doesn't matter if you call the thing that some people aren't expecting because there are good enough teams that they're still going to be covering it. I don't think it was all Mateer's fault if it's an RPO call. Like, it should have never been. It should have never been an RPO. I was still confident looking at the clock that we should win this game as long as they didn't score within like 30 seconds. I felt like if our defense could slow them down, I really felt like we were still in command of the game. I just thought we forced ourselves to make it a little too interesting at the very end of that, but it was dumb.
How mad were you guys, Clay?
I just was like in shock. For one, Xavier Robinson did an incredible job making the tackle because I'm not sure that dude doesn't score.
He scores
if he doesn't make the tackle.
He will score. He didn't make that.
So my thing was I think, well, I'm just so confused. I mean, Arbuckle admitted he called an RPO because they had 8 men in the box. And I'm like, I don't care if we go backwards. Just make them use their timeouts. But I think that Jermichael Carter, who has 4 catches or 5 catches on the entire year, I think he was more shocked than anything that the ball was coming his way. He wasn't ready for it. If you go look at it, the dude was just getting mauled by the defensive back. It should have been a pass interference penalty that wasn't called, but they didn't call it. But it was just another thing that happens with Venables and his staff and his 4 years time here is just the clock management has just not been good. And so I think that was just another case, and we got lucky that we escaped that one because that's all we'd have been talking about today if we had lost that game.
I don't really have any more thoughts on it other than I pin it on Mateer, but
sure. Okay. Well, here's my question. Another question is Tate Sandell, for one, is he the MVP, and should he wear those pants anymore?
Definitely the MVP. We definitely would have probably 2 championships if we had him on a couple other OU teams. And yeah, he can wear whatever he wants.
He can kick in a kilt or naked for all I care, as long as he keeps making 55-yarders.
You'd like that.
Clay prefers it.
I just want points, man. Just points.
I think it makes sense. For me, if I was kicking, I'd want as little interference with my leg as possible. Like they were saying, like, oh, you need you need like thigh pads, knee pads. Like I wouldn't want all that crap on my leg if I'm trying to kick. Like those guys aren't supposed to get hit. So if I'd want my leg just no distraction, nothing messing it up. And again, when you're hitting 50+ yarders, wear whatever you want. Nobody can tell you anything. Like
nobody would have even talked about it if Herb Street and Fowler hadn't made a joke about it.
No,
sure.
100%.
He's been doing it all year, and nobody really cared about
they
it.
were short, but like they weren't so short that I was just like, oh, who is this guy? I'm just thinking, oh,
he said after the game that his pants had kind of ripped, and he feels like he probably pulled them up a little bit too much. Obviously,
he rolled them up underneath his.
You've seen some of the pictures people are putting out there right now. Dadgum, they're putting out like some short Daisy Dukes on there, to make fun of it.
That's what you wanted, the tidy whities.
Yeah, exactly. Clay,
what scared me real quick was his kickoff. I think after his third make when he was like mean mugging or just like laughing or something, but he was like the guy who tackled the guy on the kickoff. I'm like, no. Like we can't afford this. Like you got to stay back. But yeah,
Clay, you've been an OU fan for a long time. Where do you rank him on kickers that we've had? Who are some of the best kickers we've had?
Oh, man, we've had some really good ones.
Yeah, Von Shaman was the first one I remember.
Yeah, Von Shaman. Gosh, that one.
The Lasher brothers.
Lasher, RD and Tim Lasher for like 8 straight years. We had
Gabe Burchicks or whatever.
Burchicks sucked.
He was good. He was the one that left early to go pros and didn't even make a team.
Yeah, stunk.
Look at his percentages.
I would say probably the 2 I can think of right now that I would put as the top 2 just is, he kicked for the Browns. He was our punter, kicker, and kickoff guy. Seibert. Then Garrett Heatley.
Remember Scott Blanton?
He was pretty good. Garrett Heatley was good. Wasn't that his name? He ended up kicking. He made a field goal in the NFC Championship to put the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And to beat Favre and those guys. So, anyways, those guys were pretty awesome. But we've had some We've had some.
Yeah, I just don't want to have. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I always hate whenever you got a field goal kicker walking out there and you're just like, oh no, man, like.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I thought Burchick, or however you say his name, was fairly good, but then like he was getting ready to kick a field goal to beat Texas and he missed it. We went into overtime. We still won the game, but I do remember that, and I thought he was a pretty good kicker before that.
Yeah.
He stunk within 50 yards.
I think with this guy, we just need more time to see how he ranks. I mean, he missed his first field goal, and I was like, what the heck? We got this guy can't even make a 42-yarder or whatever it was he missed, and then he hadn't missed since. So he can boom it. There's no doubt.
Kicking too is all about confidence. It's honestly just like golf in a sense. Like it's all mental. And so after that game, I'm like, man, just keep riding the high because.
And you handle that success, he'll go out there and miss a 22-yarder probably on Saturday or 2 weeks.
If we could lock in on special teams, if we could reduce all those dumb penalties that we're making, and our defense can just play lights out, I think we can win the next 3 games.
Yeah, because they missed a false start on that first one. I'm sure you guys saw that.
You talking about
they brought it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have pushed it to a 60-yarder.
He still would have made it, but that's maybe. I don't know. So the college football rankings, the first one should be coming out tomorrow, I believe, for the top 12 and that are ranked. Do we deserve to be in it, and do you expect to see us in it?
I think we deserve to. I do not expect to see us in it. I can see us probably being either the first or second one out, specifically, obviously, because the group of 5 gets that 12th spot. And I imagine they'll probably show favoritism to Texas or someone like that compared to the AP poll, which is fair. They beat us head-to-head. But I would say we do deserve it specifically because we have the second most ranked wins in the country right now, and we have 2 ranked wins currently. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, I think we'll be right on the outskirts, is my thoughts. Just because it's hard to go off the AP rankings because, like you said, the group of 5 is going to jump ahead of us, whoever that is, Memphis, North Texas. I don't know really for sure who's in that group right now. Was Navy, Tulane, those groups. None of them are ranked ahead of us, but they'll jump ahead of us for this. So that'll probably put us at 13th or 14th.
I think we'll be right out of it as well. I don't know if we deserve it. I think I believe we've only beat one good team, and that was Tennessee. Like Michigan, not the Michigan we're used to. Auburn, clearly garbage. South Carolina, they're okay. They're probably the second best team we've beat, but if that's the second best team we beat, that's not saying much. I think it all depends on these next 3 weeks. Really, I think it all depends on Alabama and LSU. Mizzou's should be a easy game with their third string quarterback, but I just don't think we've beat anybody that great to really prove that. Like Texas beat us and Vanderbilt, so like those 2 wins already to me are more impressive than the rest of our wins.
Which I will say is fair, but the people ahead of us, most of them only have one, if that, good win anyway. Like the next few weeks are definitely whenever you'll tell with a lot of these teams, but like Georgia hasn't really beaten anybody, honestly, other than Tennessee maybe, and Bama really hasn't beaten anybody. Like these teams haven't gotten into that thick of their schedule even still yet. But I was interested too at the beginning of the game. It said if we win, we have a 50% chance of making the playoffs. And I'm super interested on if that is assuming we beat Bama and like win out, because I don't necessarily see us making it if we lose to Bama and then win the next 2. I don't think that, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
51% would essentially mean it's given us a pretty good chance to win out, which I don't see how that's the case. I think it is
assuming that, and it was just saying 10% if we lose and win out because some other things would have to happen. I think it's just kind of giving us it's a 50-50 shot. It's all in our hands at this point if we want to go take it.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, if strength of schedule is really that big of a deal, then we should be in this thing. Clay, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I mean, for one, Tennessee, they haven't beaten anyone. The teams that they have beaten, I think Kentucky's the only one that's won one game. They just barely beat Auburn. But and they're probably going to lose 2 of their next 3 because they got Florida and Vanderbilt left. And, so that's going to hurt us. But if we lose 3 games, and those 3 games are Mississippi, Texas, and Alabama, who I think will probably all be in the playoffs, I think our chances, and because the good thing is, for one, we've seen a lot of the up and downs with the SEC and all that kind of stuff, because I think for one, if we win those last 2, we're going to end the season on 2 wins, probably not 2 teams that are ranked anymore by that time, but it's going to end the season on 2 wins. But I do think the committee is going to see us ahead of somebody like a BYU or Texas Tech that may just have 1 or 2 losses. Probably they will both have 2 losses. I see them, and then just 1 team from the Big 12. I mean, I don't think there's any ACC teams like in the top 15 from what I heard. And so obviously one's going to get in. So only 1 team's going to get in from there. So who's that going to put us against? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like, who else is left? There's Notre Dame probably will end up making it. And then you got, if you take the 4 other champions, so now there's 8 left, 7 left. I mean, and if we're 9-3, and like you said, Todd, with that strength of schedule, and our only 3 losses are teams that are going to be in the playoffs, I think that's going to bode well for us. Obviously, winning out is going to be a good thing. Would be a good thing.
Strength of schedule at the end of the year will most likely put us as not a single ranked win, other than maybe Michigan. Maybe.
Michigan would be. You're probably right.
And so I think at the beginning of the year, we look at it, and that way it looks like a gauntlet. Mid-year, we only, like you said, I mean, we only have a couple of true tests. Like Texas, again, isn't good. We just lost that game. And so any real matchup we played, we lost, because I think we would like to say Tennessee was a bigger win than it really was, but they're not a very, true team necessarily, because they haven't played anybody, and they haven't beat anybody good either, like you said. So I think strength of record or strength of schedule is not going to really play into our favor necessarily at the end of the year.
It seems like all those years
looking at
when
one
the
earlier.
BCS was in it. Oh, when the BCS was in, remember, Todd, we'd always lose to Texas or lose a game in early October, and then win out the rest of the year because we're like, if we lose a game, we're out. And then, but you lose a game. So, like, if we lose a game that, and win out those last 2, all these other teams are going to lose, because I could see Vanderbilt losing. I mean, they might lose to Tennessee. I don't remember who else they got, but they could lose another couple of games. And so that's just going to move some of those people out. And when we keep winning those last 2, because every time you win, you move up. And we had the biggest jump in the whole AP poll of anybody this week. So anyways.
I was just going to say, I looked at a projection earlier, and it showed us as the number 12 team and us playing Texas Tech there. And then that had them beating us. But I think we could beat those guys.
100%.
It'd be very interesting.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Did you say 100% or no?
100% we could beat them, yeah. But dude, if we could win out and get a home game, oh my gosh, that would be electric.
Would not?
I'd forget.
Or would it not? Yeah.
I forgot those first rounds are home games.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
sit there and do some things to go to that game.
All right, so moving, we are OU obviously has a bye week, so that gives us an extra week to go up against Alabama. So obviously we'll get together again next week. But I've got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you, gentlemen. One being, what food instantly makes you question someone's taste in life?
Onions.
If they like them or not?
I would say, for me, garlic. More so, how much do they like and love it? Because onions, yes, but some people, garlic, they put, just so much. And so, like, I don't mind a little bit. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, if they...
Onions are toast, and so's garlic. Just sprinkle of it, man.
Are you saying, like, a food that if somebody likes it, I question everything else?
You're just like, yeah.
Mine, probably the only thing, because it's the only thing I've ever eaten that I don't like, is pho. It's garbage. People are obsessed with it right now, and anybody that is, I no longer trust their judgment on food. I like pretty much every other food, or I can find something in there in that type of food world that I will like. So,
What if somebody
I like
loves
everything.
Little Caesars pizza? Do you question that?
They're just
I just think
cheap.
they're a little kid.
Yeah.
What's
I will
that
say
other
too with
pizza
the
place?
pho.
I love Little Caesars.
Well,
There you go.
maybe I do question. What do you say, Gary?
I said with the pho, but also just like other things like certain fishes or like mussels or whatever. I'm like, those people are just trying too hard at that point, honestly.
I
Like,
thought fish was singular.
Let me explain something to you. That's disgusting. Like, there's no way they're getting a good meal and getting full. Like, what'd you have? I had some oysters. Oh, I bet you got full off of that, didn't you? Or some mussels? No shot.
I
You're
had
not
some
getting
oysters
full
in
off
Florida
that
last
garbage.
summer. They were pretty good.
Huh?
But I
There's-
will say I was not full. I had like 15 of them, and I was nowhere near full.
It's kind of like Chinese food. You eat it, and about an hour later, you're starving to death.
No.
Yeah.
I was Chinese food at least fills you up for that hour. Oysters do
True.
not.
No, I know.
But I do agree with Gary. The people that are like, "Oh, I love oysters and mussels." Like, I tried it because I was in Florida. I'll try it, but I'm not like. I'm a mussel guy. I'm an oyster guy. Like, that's my favorite
Sure.
food in the world. Like those guys, it's
There's
like
no
okay.
shot. Get a good glass of wine. All right, here's my final question for you. What's the most dangerous snack? The one where you say, I'll just have a few, but the next thing you know, the bag's empty.
Any kind of good chips. If I'm watching TV and I have a bag of chips, that bag will not survive. Or Cheez-Its.
I've got 3.
Nuts.
oh my God.
Nuts.
No, I can control myself on that. I will say Nutter Butters. I can eat the whole shebang at once. I would say orange slices. I can eat the whole bag at once.
Ugh.
And then Pringles. I'll eat the whole
Yeah.
can no matter what.
Pringles, yeah.
I'd like to go back to question number 1. Anybody who can eat a bag of orange slices. I just kind of question.
No kidding. Garrett, what about
Yeah,
you?
I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I'll have to go with
It's a
the.
pile of deliciousness.
Say what?
It's just a big pile of deliciousness.
Yeah, that's a pile of something. I'll tell you that.
I'll have to go with the spicy sweet chili Doritos, the purple bag. Let me put you on something. Go
I'll
get
tell you
yourself
what
one.
it
Takis?
is.
Isn't that the same thing as Takis?
No.
They're purple bags.
Yeah, and it's called Takis, not Doritos.
Same color, but
Same thing.
It is not.
drunken turtle pie from Pie Junkie. Right, Kellen? It's pretty tasty, right?
Yeah,
Hang
I could
on.
probably knock out a whole pie if you put it
Not
in
a
front of me.
snack.
I could
Yeah, that's not a snack. Don't.
snack to me.
No,
I could
no,
have-
no, 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 no.
I can
A
have
dessert.
a pie in each
Yeah.
hand.
That does not count. Give me another one.
I mean,
That,
I
d-
wouldn't
give
have
that a.
You
a
literally
bag of
said in your
pistachio.
definition. You literally said in your definition, like, what's a? Here's the bag. Oh, the whole thing's gone. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put,
oh, here's
I'll
a
put it in
pie.
bag.
I've
No,
never seen a
don't.
piece of pie
I
in a
eat pie.
bag.
You
Yeah.
gotta eat a whole pie.
Give me a.
You don't
Give
think
us
I
another
could eat a
one.
whole pie?
Oh, I know you've put down a few pies in your lifetime.
That's not a snack.
I mean, honestly, it'd be something like Pringles. I mean, Clay said, Pringles. I can just, oh man, I can go to town on those. Or, man, like I'm trying to think. There's something I don't remember, man. There's like one. No shot. There's something I eat, and next thing you know, it's basically all gone. Like I love puppy chow. Like I mean, I could go to town on puppy chow, man. That stuff's good. You don't like it? Oh, we won't make you any then. Ding,
You
ding,
never
ding.
had?
Yeah, I'm always slaving away every Christmas.
I know.
Just, you know.
Licking the spoon.
I can't every time I come over there to get some, y'all have eaten it all.
Well, yeah, because you don't like it. Well, the Fox Den Sports Podcast would like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Please remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. We're at 17,500 and some change right now subscribers. Again, we're trying to get to that 18,000. We didn't have time tonight to sit there and go over some comments that people have. My goodness, there's some comments people are rolling in, and it's just fun. Some of it good. Some of it's like, well, what are you thinking? You're not a true OU fan. But until next time, for Kellen, Garrett, the Dens Enforcer Bench, and myself, the Podfather, till next time, goodbye, everybody. Boomer!
Sooner.
Thank you for listening to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Den Sports and on Facebook at Fox Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox Den Sports.